What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, Duel commentary. We have X Coca-Cola. I think, actually, is that X Co? Yeah, it's Coca-Cola. Okay. 1685 versus Rotoreto. I don't know why I said that in a Spanish accent. That might be a little racist. 1609. So, looks like loser turn Qliphort versus Nekroz. Roto went first, and he just did a play with Valkyrish, drew some cards. Cola fired back with Qliphort, helix straight to his face, and then he set one card. He tried to use Senju, that was met with Valor, and then when he tried to summon the Trishula, he flipped over lose a turn. So Trishula is now in defense mode. Its effect was negated, and looks like he's going to tribute summon for another helix. And oh my god, he opened up with 3 helixes. No bueno. Now the good thing is he does have not only a complete pendulum scale, but this card is resolved. This is, you guys know, I've been talking for months about lose a turn. I posted a video on Inch95's channel. I've been talking about it myself. I said that it's my most anticipated card out of the set. I think it's the best card in the entire set because I think it is the only card that can be on the level of like the legendary Floodgates, Royal Oppression, and Skill Drain, Vanity's Emptiness, Macro Cosmos. I feel like it can be that disruptive against so much of the meta. And I mean, we're gonna see how much work it's gonna do right now. You saw that Roto had to burn a Valkyrie so that his monster wouldn't die, but he's still not out of the woods yet. Like, even though he got another search, I guess he'll have to go for another Valkyrie maybe. I mean, kind of sucks if you're Cola that you don't have Scout. If he had Qliphort Scout, he'd probably be in a much better position right now. Because what Roto can do is he can stall him out with by constantly using Valk like every single turn. I mean, that is one good way to stall your opponent out, make it so that they don't get any plays off. He's going to attack the Helix. Not even sure why, to be honest. I'm kind of surprised he didn't put Trishula in attack mode. I guess he just felt like leaving it in defense mode's better. For some reason, I mean, it is 2400 attack, so now he is going to put it in attack mode. Just didn't make any sense not to put it in attack mode. I wonder if he might consider Xing here, maybe for Ragnar Zero. Actually, that doesn't make a ton of sense. Ragnar Zero wouldn't be able to kill this because it is level 6 and Ragnar Zero is 4. I'm sorry, I'm eating something. It's buku unprofessional, but still. Ragnar Zero wouldn't be terrible. At least it would stop him if he normal summoned another Qliphort monster. But it wouldn't be great either. And I'm thinking if Cola is running lose a turn, that there's no way he's running Storm. I mean, maybe he has MSC in the main deck, but Storm is just, that's not going to happen. I mean, you're always still going to run Vanities and Skill Drain, and you're always going to run Vanities and Skill Drain in a Qliphort deck regardless, but like you don't want to just have like a ton of Floodgates and then still have lose a turn. So you see him make Diamond Direwolf, presumably to try and kill lose a turn. And ooh, he tributes for Qliphort Carrier. Or excuse me, Pendulum Summons. If he has a tribute, he's gonna definitely bounce the Diamond Direwolf. And all of this work will be for naught. Looks like it is gonna be stealth. He's gonna bounce Trishula. Whoa, did he? Oh, okay, he gets 2 bounces. Every time somebody does that play, I'm always like, what the hell's going on? Alright, that's right, he gets double bounce. So, you see him clear Roto-Reto's field. And that lose a turn is just lose a turn is a fucking nutty card, man. I'm telling you, you guys know how I feel about Vanities. I think Vanities is one of the most unreliable cards ever. It's a great card, but it's just not that good to me. Lose a turn is just so much better. And Qliphort, you can still special, but you tribute, so it doesn't matter that your dudes get summoned in defense mode and you can't attack with them. All you have to do is just tribute them. Once you have something like lose a turn and a big ass stealth on board, your opponent just can't really do much. Now, Roto can, I mean, he can live for a couple of turns because he does have the Valkyries, so maybe he'll want to constantly cycle it. No pun intended. I don't mean like the Nekros cycle, but I don't know. Right now, his ritual summoning doesn't really amount to anything. Alright, so he has a Senju. The one good thing again is Cola doesn't have any legitimate back row cards. And he doesn't have Qliphort Scout. So his deck is moving a lot slower than it would. If he had Scout, this duel would have like been over by now. He would have been able to draw cards with Monolith maybe. He would have been able to constantly search every single turn. Because if he keeps making stealth, his opponent will never be able to resolve an Exceed. And if he can't resolve an Exceed, he just can't win. Like all of this summoning, I'm not really sure what it amounts to. If all the monsters get summoned in defense mode and you can't use their effects. I guess Gungnir would be okay. Because you could summon her in defense mode and then use her effect during your turn. But that's just about the only card I can think of. Alright, so he is going to go for an Exceed. Goes for Exiton Knight. Better hope his opponent doesn't get another Qliphort monster. He'll just tribute the carrier and bounce it. Also, if he does use Exiton's effect right now, neither one of those Qliphorts are going to die. So that's the thing. Alright, so looks like he's going to let it go. Kind of surprised by that, to be honest. And he'll try and attack for game, which baits out the Valkyries anyway. Both of those monsters were tribute summoned, so neither one of them are affected by Exiton Knight. I guess he felt like he had to get rid of the Exiton Knight that turn. Otherwise, if he would have let it go back to his opponent's turn, then clearly it would have just used its effect regardless. I wonder what he drew. Maybe he drew an effect veiler. Whatever he drew had to be a really good card. The obvious setup that you want in Qliphort is just scout and lose a turn. Wow, Roto still ends up scooping. That is crazy. Despite having 4 cards in hand and the ability to get to whatever spells he wanted, because I mean, he had a stacked graveyard, didn't he? I know he had Kaleido Mirror in there because he summoned Unicorn. Like he had a graveyard of spells he could have gotten some stuff out of and just scoops. I guess he just didn't have a way of getting over the he must not have had a way of getting over getting over stealth. That's the only thing that I can like think of, is that he just could not kill the Qliphort stealth. Because otherwise, why would you scoop? And you're just seeing it right there. Like, do you see the type? Even though the lose a turn, like the effectiveness the effectiveness of the card was diminished a little bit. The fact that like Cola couldn't really capitalize off of it because he didn't have anything else to kind of accompany with it. Like, I'm talking back row. But do you see how like Nekros had to make weird plays? Like, he has to summon a Diamond Direwolf, put it in defense mode, and search a Valkyries to protect it. Like, that's a fucking weird play. You have to summon an Exiton Knight and hope your opponent attacks into it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Nekros have to make weird plays. And in a deck like Yosenju aren't gonna get, like, they're not gonna care if you Valk them because they have comma 1, so they can bounce stuff. Now, one of the great things about lose a turn also is if somebody forces you to go first, you can just flip it over. Like, you can flip it over so that the Denko obviously can't wreck it. Neither player is setting cards in their opening turn. Kind of strange. Roto might have a royal decree. It's gonna normal summon Qliphort Stealth. Okay. Still have not seen a scout yet. That's weird. Flips over a Fiendish Chain. Oh, okay. Flips over Fiendish Chain in response to make his guy 2800 attack. Then activates Mind Crush. I wouldn't call, Unicorn is a good call. I wouldn't call Nekros Embryonic because you probably would have used it. I would call either Sharit or Valkyrus maybe. That would be a good pick. Valkyrus, Sharit. Guess he doesn't have one. See if he has to get rid of another Klee monster. And Scoop Phase. Okay. Mind Crush fail. So, in games too, I am always an advocate of, if you're not playing MST, just bring it in against Nekroz. Like, if you know you're gonna lose to Royal Decree, don't lose to Royal Decree, man. There's too many people out there who, they get destroyed by, unless you're running, okay, the exception would be like if you're running Qliphort with like 3 Forbidden Chalices, Book of Moon, and like, you're siding Shared Riots. Okay, then you don't have to worry about Royal Decree because you can probably get it off the field within a turn. You can bounce it with Qliphort Stealth and obviously Helix can blow it up. But if you're running a deck where you literally don't have any outs to it and you don't really play that many quick plays, and Book of Moon doesn't really count, saying, well, I run Book of Moon. Like, that doesn't count. Everybody runs Book of Moon. But if that's the only quick play you're running, like, don't lose to Royal Decree. Either side in Storm or side in MSTs. You don't even have to main deck those cards. But when I played Teller Knights last format and I played the 3 MSTs, I used to always just side 1 MST out against Nekroz. And that was because I knew that they were going to bring in Royal Decree. And as crazy as that sounds, leaving MST in for 1 card, well, it made sense with Anti-Spell Fragrance. I could MST the ritual spells too. But just in general, I felt like I'm not about to lose to that 1 card. And if I had 3 MSTs plus 3 Alpha Novas, that's 6 outs to the Royal Decree. So he's going for the Valk play, which sole purpose is just to try and get you like a side deck. Purpose of this play against this deck. I don't necessarily agree with giving up like just letting your opponent have an open field to swing into, because you getting that ritual spell doesn't do anything. But people say, well, you end with 6 cards. Yeah, but you have to play Nekroz Cycle to search out, like you have to play a card to summon a card, so it's not really like a real advantage. Sets 3. See, this would be the perfect time to just like storm your opponent. Sets 4. Oh my god. Obviously 2 of those are probably like Nekroz spells. This would be the perfect time to just like storm them. Those Qliphort Scout out there. And 1 card down. Has another Summoner's Art. This will be the last one in the deck, unless he runs a, what's it called? Climate Change. Climate Change is a good card. I don't know necessarily if I would side it against Nekroz though. But nah, you know what? Just that one of, because you know some people side decking whole bunch of back row hate and crap like that. Nah, I think he's probably just going to throw the Scout out there. I don't think that you wouldn't immediately Summoner's Art if you were going to play it. Like if you had Night Beam or something, you wouldn't have played the Summoner's Art first. So I'm guessing he's just going to throw the Scout out there, see if it sticks. I know one of those cards that are face down has to be a ritual spell. A second MST activates Upstart Goblin now that he has both Scouts out. Wanting to expand his options. Plays Helix and Stealth. And could Pendulum both Scouts. Yeah, he could definitely Pendulum both Scouts out. Okay, he is going to Pendulum both Scouts. And a Helix. Oh my goodness, he could actually have a Towers, but it's very unlikely that he'd be able to have Towers. Oh, tributes from Majesty's Fiend. Okay. No effect monsters this game. $40. Wait, what? What? Why did you take $24.40? Okay, there you go. There you go. Isn't this one the one that reduces? Yeah, he's only at 2100. I was gonna say, isn't Helix the one that reduces your opponent's attack by 300? The boost attack is Dis, Stealth, and Carrier, and this one's like randomly lose. So he actually, Roto needs to gain 300 life points. Now this isn't the like most difficult thing to get over, the Vanity or the Majesty's Fiend. You just, I mean, I guess you have to like, if you go into like Trishula or something, you just know you're not getting effects. Same thing with Unicorn. Like most of the time people summon Unicorn off Collider Mirror, so you just know that you're not getting any of your effects. You would just have to crash at that point. I guess the best way to get over it is Valk, to be honest. You know, some people, I can't really ever say Gungnir and Decisive Armor because some people don't even run those cards. And then if you have a Senju or a Manju, it's just dead. The same thing about if he has a Roll Decree set, if he has a Denko in hand, they're utterly bad right now. If he has, Twisters, any more cards like that, any type of, cards that hate on spells and traps, face down ones anyway, they're just not good. Well, Twister doesn't hate on a face down spell or trap, but you know what I mean. So, you wonder if Roto has any legitimate plays here. I mean, they obviously can't really involve, like they can't really involve, Manju or Senju unless he just wants to exceed with those cards, in which he'd have to summon Unicorn as well. And at that point, he'd have to go into an exceed like Dark Rebellion exceed, Illuminescent Night. Actually, check that. Those don't even work because Helix would take 300 attack from it. So, it has to be a level 4, a rank 4 exceed with less or with more than 2700 attack. So the Helix is actually randomly doing a lot now because that takes away legitimate options. I mean, I guess you could have Crazy Box and you could just stall, but eventually Qliphort will probably be able to get over that card. I mean, but it doesn't hurt to stall. Yeah. Doesn't hurt to stall until you can try and come back. So, Roto, what exactly do you have? If you had Book of Eclipse, it would be fantastic. You could potentially try and crack his field, and you give him no cards. But if you had Book of Eclipse, you would have already used it by now. And if I'm Cola, I'm looking at Roto and I'm saying, look, you need to make a play now. We all know that you Nekros players like to stall and take forever to make a turn. But, yeah, you really haven't played any cards in about the last 60 seconds, so that's definitely slow play. At least I believe it's slow play. So I wonder what the chat is saying about this duel. People might be saying GG. Yeah, I was just guessing that people were probably saying GG. I mean, you don't generally take this long if you know that you have a counter to the play. Like if you're thinking of some sort of like excellent play here, okay, clearly the play has to be able to kill Majesty's Fiend. Clearly he can't really use, like it can't be reliant on monster effects. So it has to be reliant more or less on ritual summons. In addition to killing Majesty's Fiend, if he doesn't take out his pendulum scales, he didn't really accomplish that much, to be honest, because he will just summon the scout back next turn. And if he happens to kill his Qliphort monsters, he'll summon those back next turn too. So if you don't crack the scale, then you really didn't do much. And it looks like Roto realized that. Roll Decree, Nekros Cycle, I believe that is. Another Roll Decree, and Brio. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, I'm not really sure what he could have done. Why was I thinking that Unicorn was level 2400 attack? Yeah. I mean, you see he could have summoned Brio or he could have summoned Brio or Unicorn, but just wouldn't have done anything. It wouldn't have been able to get over, Majesty's Fiend, and the Royal Decrees came in, like, they won him game 2 and just did absolutely nothing during this game. So I guess them be the breaks though. Thank you guys for watching as always.